Okay, so class is officially in session. Get your drink, get your snacks. I'm going to tell you exactly how to make a vision board that actually works. I have been making vision boards for years now. I used to make them in my journal and then I started making actual physical ones, like the one you can kind of see in the back right there. We'll talk about that and I'll bring it forward and talk about it a little bit later. But this is how you make a vision board that actually works. Now, I know a lot of people sort of feel uncomfortable with the term vision board. I'm seeing prayer boards, goal boards. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's the same concept. It's the same idea. If you follow the same rules, it will work. Just having a vision board does not work because just having a goal doesn't work. You need to know how to execute it. And I've made a video about this before, but I think this is a more in-depth video and I'll teach you exactly how this can work. So let's get into it. And let me take off these glasses so we can actually concentrate, okay? 2025 will be our year, okay? This is exactly how we're going to do it. So let's start. So first of all, before I do anything, every single year, my sister and I make our vision boards together. Even if it's not like the sticking and making the physical vision board, we at least discuss it, talk about what we want to do. And then we have a nice sleepover, a really calming day. We eat really good food. We bake a good cake. And this year we actually created like a new little event to add to our vision boarding sleepover. I always make my vision board before the end of the year, or at least in the first week of January, because I feel like it's important. So after we have our nice night planned and everything, what I like to do before I even start thinking of what I want to put on my vision board is I have a nice little journaling session. I make sure it's on a day when I'm feeling nice and calm. It's at the end of a work day. I'm not feeling stressed. I've had a nice bath. I'm drinking a really nice cup of tea. Maybe I have a little snack on the side. And then I journal. I have two separate journals. So I have this one, which is my daily journal. I just get a bunch of these wherever I can find a journal. As soon as it finishes, I go and purchase another one. And then this one is my scripting journal. I absolutely love this journal. It is so sturdy. I like the gold paneling on the sides. It just feels very luxurious. It feels like it contains secrets, okay? And this is the Obsidian journal. I got this from Amazon and I've had it for a while now because I only use this for scripting, which means I don't use it every day. Sometimes I don't even use it every week. I should be using it more, but in this journal, this is where I write. Scripting is basically when you journal as if the thing has already happened. And so before I start my vision board, I will get this journal out and I will script, whether it's a day in my life, whether it's just like a little life update, and I'll script as if it is the end of the next year. The first thing I did was write as if it's the end of 2025, like I'm in December 2025, and I'm writing about all the amazing things that happened in 2025 from January to December. And I just let it like free flow. I don't think about any specific things that I want. I just kind of let it flow out and see what kind of things come. Like what would I have imagined? What would I have liked to happen? And then after I do that little journaling session, it sort of brings up the things that I feel strongly about, the things that I want to write about. And then the next day, I usually don't do this on a separate day. You can actually prepare for a whole week. The next day, I do a more in-depth journaling session, which I do in this journal because it's bigger. I have a lot more writing to do. And I don't journal in the same way. So in that one, it's just like 1 to 3 pages max. This one is a little bit more work. What I do is I start by writing down all the categories that I want to have on my vision board. And then after the categories, I break down my goals, which means my goal in every category of the vision board. And then after the goal, I write down my systems separately, which means these are the systems I use to achieve these goals. And then after the systems, I do a little journal prompt about why I want this. And the why part is very important because as you're writing your why, you may find out that you want some certain things for the wrong reasons and you can just cancel them out of your vision board. Like if you want something just to impress other people or you have no reason for wanting it, you just want it. And there are certain like material things that you might just want. Like for example, I want a Dyson Airwrap. I wouldn't use it that often. Like my hair, it's not an absolutely necessary tool. I just want it because I think it's cute and pretty, and that's fine. But if it's something with like a deeper meaning and it's something that's going to cost you maybe a lot of money, a lot of emotional stress, maybe you want to lose weight and you're like, I want to lose weight because I want to get back at my ex, like that might not be a good enough reason. And even if you decide to still keep it on your vision board, it's still good to know why you want the things that you want. So if you'd like to know my specific categories, I have finances and career as one section. The second section of my vision board is love, which includes romantic, family, friendships. The third category is health and fitness, which is, physical, mental, emotional, all the kinds of health and fitness goals, which obviously includes body goals as well, like aesthetic. And then I have self-development, which includes like any kind of learning, self-improvement. And then lastly, I have travel and other wants, which are like other material things that I might just want. So this is my journal, and I'll give you an example of like, I have health and fitness, and then I have 3 goals down here. And then these are the systems to achieve the goal. And then I have my why, and I have the same for career. I have the same for my love and family section, and I have the same for personal development, everything. So now let me break down what I'm talking about, the goals and all that. I'll give you an example from my health and fitness section. One goal is to get more toned, have a more defined body, and have a completely flat stomach, because that has been a goal I have had for like literally the last 15 years of my life. I'm not even exaggerating. And this year I got very close to that goal. And next year I want to continue it and actually hit my final goal. And then obviously fitness is like an ongoing thing. I'll be maintaining it, but like to actually get to the goal weight, the actual fitness, to look in the mirror and be like, yes, I did that. That's one of the goals, right? And so under my systems, we have walk 10,000 steps minimum 6 days a week. No snacks after dinner with tea. You can just have the tea by its own. Do 20 to 30 minutes of cardio 4 to 5 times a week. Stretch at least 10 minutes every day. Lift weights 3 to 4 times a week, and more. And then I have my why broken down, which is one of my whys is I have felt very uncomfortable in my body for a very long time. I know that I'm not up to my full potential, and it reflects on the outside. I don't always feel amazing. Sometimes I have like not enough sleep, not enough energy. And my goal body is when I wear an outfit, I'm not sure if it's my body that looks good or it's the outfit that looks good. Sometimes I would look at a picture of someone on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, and they're wearing like the most basic pajama pants or like the most basic tank top. And in my head, I'm thinking like, wow, those are such nice pajama pants. Like they fit so perfectly. Or you see people asking someone like, oh, where did you get your top for like the most basic white t-shirt? And it's like, you don't want the top. You don't want the pajama pants. You want the body. Now, I'm not trying to look like anyone else on TikTok. I don't want anyone else's ideal body. I want the best version of my own body, and I want my body to be the outfit. That's the aesthetic. That's what I'm going for. And if you don't agree with that and you're not comfortable with that, that is also perfectly fine. Please do not feel pressured to want the same goals that I want. That is just a certain example of a goal, the system, and the why. Now, why is the system and the why important? Goals do not get you where you want to be. They are just nice and fun. If you think about the Olympics, everybody wants to get the gold medal. Just because they want it doesn't mean they're going to get it, right? A lot of people have goals to be rich and to travel and to be skinny and do whatever they want. If you have no system, you're not going to achieve the goal. If you want to know if your system is good enough to achieve your goal, try and see what will happen if you remove the goal and stick to only the systems. Will you still achieve the same thing? For example, I want to get to a specific, I have an idea of the weight I'd probably like to be. I'm not stuck on a specific number. I know that I want my stomach to be flat. I know that I want to get a better sleep. I know that I want to be more energetic. If I take those goals out and I say, okay, I'm going to walk 12,000 steps a day. I'm going to drink 2 liters of water. I'm going to eat more protein, a specific number. I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights 3 to 5 days a week, right? If I was to remove the goal, would I still get there? The answer is yes. It is obvious. I'll still get to the goal. So that's what you need to think of with every single goal that you set. So now we've got the boring part out of the way, and it is time for the fun part, making the vision board. How do you actually make the vision board, and how do you make sure it works, aside from everything that you're doing in the back end? So when it comes to pictures, I would do the old school vision board thing, get magazines, cut out photos, and it would be a whole fun experience. But as time has gone on, I've realized that using magazines and stuff like that is just a waste of time, because you have to always compromise with whatever is available to you. You don't get to choose enough of specifically what you want. And it's also just a big waste of time, to be honest. It used to be fun, and you can still do that if you want to. But for me, I find that the best way is to just go on Pinterest. It has everything I want. So instead of getting confused, sometimes I may just do like, I make a vision board folder for that year, and I might just go scroll through my feed, because I do look at similar things on Pinterest, and anything that sort of impresses me, interests me, I might just like it and add it to that folder. And then I start looking specifically now for every section. I look section by section. So for finances, I think like, okay, what do I want from this place? What am I thinking of? Okay, I want a picture of money. And then I find multiple versions of pictures that I want. And I don't tend to put the exact thing that I want. I like to put a representation of it. So usually if someone was to walk into my room and see my vision board up, they wouldn't really be able to tell exactly what the pictures mean. It just looks like a really aesthetic collage. The other reason why I like Pinterest is because I am an aesthetics person, and if I'm going to put it up in my room, I don't want it to be an eyesore. I want it to be aesthetically pleasing, and so I won't make it so specific, and I refrain from using too many big words, because I think I don't like, personally, for my vision board, I don't like too many words. I like a few quotes, and they always have to be very short so that I can easily read everything on the quote just at one glance. So I'm going to bring my little vision board from the back now so you can see. This is my vision board right here from last year. When it comes to getting the photos printed, I either go to like a local printing company or just a local photo company, a place that actually prints on photo paper. That's what I used for this one. And then this year they had increased the prices ridiculously. So I just went to like a different printing company, and I just print the things on like A3 sized paper. You have to look at the dimensions of whatever board you're going to be using, and then make sure that the style is the same. I create mine in Photoshop, but you can even use Canva, which is what a lot of people use. And when I say don't use the exact thing or the exact words, I'll give you an example. Like here, I'm not going to write like grow long hair. I just have a picture of, this is Shani Bailey. I love her hair, and she has a very similar hair texture to me. And then we have this like beautiful silk pressed hair here, which is like, I did want to get the ultimate best silk press. I wanted my hair to look great, curly and straight. Here you have a picture of Kendall Jenner. And you might be thinking like, oh, do you want to be like Kendall? Like, you want to be a model? And it's like, no, I just think this dress was like very, for lack of a better word, very demure. And I wanted more like aesthetic, feminine, beautiful clothes, and that's why I put that picture. Now, the reason why I say be very careful with the pictures that you use is I wanted to learn a lot more French last year, and unfortunately, that's one of the parts of my vision board that I didn't put that much effort into. But as a symbol of learning more French, I do have a picture of a phrase here that says "un croissant, s'il vous plaît," which means a croissant, please. And that was me imagining myself like walking to a cafe in Paris and ordering a croissant in French. And you can see here, there's another picture of a coffee and a croissant, which was just a symbol of me like doing more aesthetic photos for my Instagram, which is for work. And surprisingly, I didn't get to go to France. However, I did eat the most croissants I've ever eaten in my entire life. Like pain au chocolat, plain butter croissants, like so many different types. And where I live, I've just never really found good croissants. Even just this month, a new cafe opened in like a food store, and they have amazing croissants. Just an example, like if you're gonna put something on your board, make sure even if it's a representation of what you want, if you get something similar that's not the exact same thing, you'll still be happy with it. So yeah, that's an example. And you see all my quotes are like very, very small. So this is like the overall aesthetic of all my vision boards. So now if you want to see the rest of my, like how I make my vision board, how I arrange the photos together and all that, my little dinner with my sister on our vision board night, let's go to do that right now. So to start off the night, I started by baking my favorite chocolate cake and I wrote it down in my grandmother's recipe book. Her name was Angelica Long. And this is my favorite super dark, rich chocolate cake. I did post a short with like the full recipe if you want to see that, and let me know if you want actual cooking vlogs so I can actually make one. But we always like to have a nice baked good for this sleepover, and this year I figured instead of making my usual brownies or cookies, I do my cake because every year everyone in my family has two birthday cakes, one on your birthday and then one like a week or two later. So I hadn't made my birthday cake yet, and I figured the best time to make it would be for my vision board. So it's basically like a vision board cake, and that's why I decided to make this chocolate cake. And when I tell you it was the most perfect one I've ever baked, I'm so excited. So once it was ready, we let it cool down while we did our dinner. And as you can see, my sister's chopping up stuff for garlic bread in the back while I was taking the cake out, and our food was ready. It was meatballs with pasta and garlic bread. And then after we finished eating, it was time to make the chocolate sauce. To be honest, this is like my secret recipe, and the only reason why it's a secret is because I eyeball it. I don't know what the measurements are. I can just tell by looking, and that's how I make it. So I wanted a double layered cake this time, so I cut the first layer with this serrated knife. Then I went ahead and cut the second layer, and then it was time to fill. We did wait for the chocolate sauce to cool down a lot first, and I spread a nice thick layer of chocolate sauce. And then on top of the chocolate sauce, I put this super dark black forest cherry filling, and it is so good with chocolate sauce. So I did that. I put the second layer on top, and then I did the exact same thing I did to the first layer with the chocolate sauce and the cherries. Then I put the top layer, and instead of icing, what I like to use is Nutella because I hate icing. I don't like anything creamy. So whenever I want like a chocolate icing, instead of getting like a Pillsbury or something like that, I just add some cocoa to thicken up my Nutella, and it also reduces the sweetness a little bit because this cocoa is very dark and very bitter. So it makes the perfect topping for a cake, and I just decided to spread that nice and evenly. This is a day where you want to eat decadent foods and feel really good and just treat yourself. So I just did rough icing. I used a butter knife to spread everything around, and then once I was happy with it, I decided to grate some white chocolate on top. It looks like coconut, but it's actually grated white chocolate, and it was the perfect topping. It just looks like snow. And once I was done, I put in the candles for later. But now it is time to make the vision board. So the cake is ready to eat, filled, and now I'm gonna take you through my process, which is basically what I explained. These are the prints that I got from my store, and I have a pair of scissors there, a little video on my laptop to watch in the background while I cut out my photos, and I will be sticking them to a canvas just like my previous vision board. So I carefully cut them out, and if you want, you can just print everything like ready to stick. So you just stick the banner on your board. But for me, I still find this process a little bit fun, and I like to constantly rearrange the pictures until I'm very happy with where they are. So here, what you see is me putting them in piles of specific wants: body, health, and fitness in the middle, love and family on this side, quotes, which will be taken off the board until we are done. Work. Travel here. We have wants and needs over here, and then overall aesthetics and everything over here. That's how we separate the board. Now, this is also a very important part of the board. If you make a mistake here, you might be unhappy. So here I start to arrange the photos in the areas the way I like, but I'm not gluing anything down until I'm perfectly happy with where everything is. So as you can see now, I'm happy with the placement, but nothing is actually glued down. I am now picking up each picture one by one and then gluing it down in place. I will be printing a little more to fill in these tiny gaps. And now this is the new fun thing my sister and I like to do. We light two candles in the same way you'd make a wish for your birthday and blow out the candle. This is what we do, except we wish for basically everything on our vision board to manifest. And then it's time to eat some cake. This was like a couple hours after dinner, but we were still really full, so we didn't eat a lot of cake. We just really, really needed to taste this cake, so we made ourselves nice cups of peppermint tea. And here is the reveal for the inside of the cake. It came out so fluffy and moist and perfect, everything that you could want in a cake. And this is what the slice looks like on the inside. Let me know if you want more videos like this from me. I will be happy to make them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.